So this is basically a video on the SR journey I went through in season 4. Long story short, I went from getting placed at 3.6k to finishing at 4.2k in EU's top 500. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you about all the struggling and suffering I went through to get where I finished the season. But first, I'm going to give you a quick history lesson on how I performed prior to season 4. So after 7 wins and 3 losses with my season 1 6-stack team, I placed in low diamond. This was actually the 154th highest rank in the world by the time MasterOverwatch.com servers refreshed the next day. I decided to ditch my season 1 6-stack team to solo queue because I felt they were holding me back, and they evidently were. And from there, I climbed from Diamond all the way up to Grandmaster with a 52% win rate, where I peaked at 139th in the world according to Overbuff. I'm also ranked 82nd for Zarya, who was my main, and still is my main. The highest rank in EU I have recorded is 42nd. Anyway, I ended up finishing at 3.9k, and I was annoyed that I dropped out of Grandmaster in the last week of the season. This was 639th in the world. So I completed my season 3 placement games with 4 wins, 5 losses and 1 draw. I got placed at 3.7k, and I got pissed off because I lost SR after hearing that people were just getting placed where they finished or higher, and this turned out to be the season of inflation. Though I guess it wasn't that bad because I was still 769th in the world. I won't go into detail about season 3, but it was a very irritating season because everyone got inflated early on, whereas I stayed around Masters since I kept on having periods where I would lose the majority of my games. I did manage to rank back up to Grandmasters after all my suffering that season. I had just 3 more wins than losses and draws and gained over 400 SR. My win rate was below 50% for most of the season. I peaked at 4,250 SR, which was 136th in EU, but then I dropped out of the top 500 and finished in 3.9k. So now we're on to season 4. I completed my season 4 placements where I had a few frustrating losses that I knew I should have won. With 5 wins, 4 losses, 1 draw, I placed low at 3.6k, and I was absolutely pissed off since that was almost 250 SR drop from where I was at season 3, and my goal was to get to around 4.4k so that I could be in the top 100 globally. I was unlucky to have a rough start with a 40% win rate, basically cancelling out the bonus SR you gain for winning your first few matches at the start of the season. Things eventually evened out. I had 1 more win than loss, and I was on the brink of returning to Grandmaster. But then, the game was like, no, fuck you. You're gonna have shit teammates, throwers, and gonna go on an 8 losing streak. I deranked from 3.9k all the way down to 3.6k over 2 days. On the 8th loss, I lost 62 SR, and that's the most I've ever lost before in all of the seasons. And that 8th loss was coincidentally because of that DDoS attacker NoTime214 who DDoS attacked my Wi-Fi after I joined this party mid-game and I got disconnected and couldn't join back. The weird thing is though, I actually went on a 7 winning streak straight after that, and that was the first win streak I'd gone on since season 2. Now, think of the odds of a skilled player going on an 8 losing streak. Must be pretty low, right, if the matchmaking is actually balanced? Well, I actually did the math, and it's a 0.4% chance, given that every chance to win those games was 50% exactly, which it obviously wasn't. Fuck matchmaking, fuck throwers. Now think of the odds of that same player going on a long losing streak twice in a season. Oh, I'm that unlucky player. You'd think I'd just be wrecking people at relatively low elo, but no. Season 4 was the season of mass amounts of throwers and smurfs. I played 13 games and only won 1. At this point, my pride is just shattered and broken, and I'm wondering what the hell am I doing wrong? I just look at my stats, and I'm still performing well. I'm always getting like the gold eliminations on my team. My KD is high. I'm getting voting cards most games that I play. Like, what more can I possibly do? I dropped from 3.9k down to 3.7, and that is the SR that I placed at. Well, I managed to recover. I hit my season high and I was on the brink of Grandmaster with 4 more losses than wins. Let me remind you that I've placed at 3.6k and have still climbed up with more losses than wins. So I'm basically winning as much as I'm losing at this point, which is okay because I normally earn more SR than I lose. That's why I'm able to climb with a 50% win rate, though it's been a bit less than that nearly all season. I hit Grandmasters. I get deranked again. I recover again. I get deranked again. And then I recover again. Then I do a queue with the first time with my new friend General Murders, and we actually go on a 5 winning streak, so now I'm 1 win off of top 500. Man, finally hit top 500 after 2 months of agonizing climbing. This placed me 387th in EU, but I ended up dropping out the same day after I had 1 win in 5 games. I returned to the top 500 with exactly the same SR, but this time at 500th. Top 500 was going up and up and up because it was like the last few weeks of the season and everyone wanted to finish in top 500 so they could get their sprain icon. It's the last week of competitive and I was forced to play another game since top 500 minimum rank increased. Now it's the last day of competitive and I dropped out of the top 500 by 5 SR. I won my next game and it placed me 388th in the EU. At this point my wins and losses had become the same amount finally. So I had climbed my way from 3,682 SR to 4,261 with the same amount of losses as wins. That's 579 SR for even Stevens. It took 64 hours, 302 games, but I finally finished in the top 500 at 408 and 938th globally. On a side note, this season I held 3 different KD records on one of my Smurf accounts. Held it for Arissa, Sombra and Zarya, as well as on my master Smurf account, the Royal Jamstar. I had quite a few ridiculous stats which show I am much better than a master ELO player. This concludes my video of my stressful journey through season 4 to get to top 500. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video and will like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.
I got it, you got it?
Oh yeah! Ooh, it's a 6-man!
Oh damn!
Oh, easy in the middle.
Sick.
John, there you was.